Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to discuss about TestNG keywords and we are going to cover 5 TestNG keywords. So first keyword is priority keyword, enabled keyword that we already seen in our previous video, description keyword, timeout keyword, invocation count keyword. So in TestNG, all keywords start with a small letter and we will cover these 5 keywords in detail in the programming section. So now point to highlight. All the TestNG keyword can only be used with @test annotation. Example, @test, parenthesis, priority is equal to 1, comma, enabled is equal to false. We can use multiple keywords at a single point in TestNG. So now our third topic is how to solve test case execution order in TestNG. So in our previous video, as we know, TestNG execute test annotation method in alphabetical order. But we want to execute our test annotated method in a sequential order. So basically we want to execute the test that we have written in our end-to-end flow in the order which we have mentioned. So how we can solve this issue? The first keyword, the priority keyword, will help us to solve this issue. So let's move to the coding part. So let's open our first end-to-end flow, mobile flow. So here we have seen our test script executing in the alphabetical order, but we want to execute in a sequential order, like sign up should execute first, login second, then select mobile category, add to cart, and then fill shipping detail. So that the order that we want to execute. So how we can solve this issue? Using priority keyword of the TestNG. So parenthesis priority, so you will get priority is equal to 1. So in our document, it's clearly mentioned the priority is to set execution order of the test method, and second point is lower priority will be scheduled first. What does it mean? In our program, if we say priority is equal to 1, which means that is the highest priority. So it will execute first. The method having a priority 2 will execute right after that. So let's mention it priority 2 for login method, because that method should execute right after sign up. So same way, after login, we will select the mobile category. So the priority of this method should be 3. So same way, we mention the order of each method. Let's say it's a 4, and fill shipping detail that should execute at the 5th position. Make payment after filling shipping detail, it should execute at 6th position, and same way the 7 and review and rating should be at the end, which is 8th. So now we set the priority of the execution. So how simple it is. So now let's time to execute this one. Right click, run as TestNG. So now you can say all 8 executed. Let's check the order of execution. So now you can see sign up with valid user details executed first, then login with valid credential, second selecting mobile category, then adding Samsung mobile to cart, then filling address detail to product delivery, making payment via credit card option, tracking the order status, and finally, after successful delivery of product, giving reviews and rating. So that is the order in which we wanted to execute our end-to-end test flow. Now you can see here the reporting part passed order tracking. So don't get confused with the order of this reporting section, because it's a reporting section. TestNG do not guarantee about the reporting order, but it guarantees the execution order that we set through priority. So if you see this one, and so don't get bothered or confused, that is for HTML report. So the order of execution in HTML report could be anything that not impacting our execution. The important part is execution order. So here we can see our execution order is correct. So now let's move to the second part, enabled. Enabled we already discussed. Let's discuss again here. So let's say in our application, review and rating going under major change, or this feature may be obsolete. There could be two reasons to disable this method. One, either some major changes going on this feature, so we don't want to execute for time being because anyways it's going to fail. So in that case, removing this method from the test is not a good idea. So better to disable this method so the TestNG will not pick it up. So comma enabled is equal to false. So now the TestNG will not pick this test case, and as we discussed, we can use multiple keywords with single annotation at the test method level. So now let's execute again. So this time 7 executed, but order always preserved by priority keyword. So now let's move to project level. Right click on your project, refresh the project. So as we discussed, TestNG already produce a HTML report or generate a HTML report for you automatically. So here you can see new folder is created, test-output. Open this folder. In folder you can see HTML index.html created. So right click on the index.html, open with browser, because you can see it's a HTML page, and HTML page cannot be opened directly in the Eclipse. So open all the HTML page open in the browser. So here you can see report is generated. 7 method, 7 get passed. You can see the status. Click on show. So once you click on show, it shows all the green check box, which means these methods successfully passed. There is no fail. If anything is get failed, it would have been highlighted in the red. Now, this is our mobile flow class where we have written these methods. But if you share this report with your manager or top level management, they will not get or understand the meaning of these method, because we did not write any description what this method does, what sign up means, why we are doing sign up with which detail, login, what login. So in that case, we need to put some description so that they can understand what this method's doing. So now move to our next keyword is description. So description says to add a description for the test method that will reflect in TestNG HTML report as well. So let's go to the test case, open our flow. Now comma description, if we put description keyword here, we can mention signing up with valid username. So that is the description. Same way we can add description to each method so that everything is visible on the report and it easy to understand for everyone. So now login with valid username that has created in sign up step. So that's we add the description part. So saved. Now rerun the same test case again. Double click on the tab. So refresh the project so that new report will be reflected in the HTML. So refreshed. Now go to this part. This is already open. So refresh this one, show link. Now you can see description appears on the HTML report. So now this time it's easy to understand what this method is doing basically. So we can add the description using description. Now let's move to our fourth keyword, timeout. So what timeout says, the maximum number of millisecond this test should take. So what is it mean exactly? So let's move to our mobile flow. In mobile flow, let's say this is our first test method, sign up. So generally For example, this sign up method takes 1 minute to complete all its test step that we have mentioned inside this method. So how much it times takes? 1 minute at max. So including network latency, your system slowness, we know it's going to execute and take only less than 60 seconds. So in that case, uh, what are the scenario where it can takes more than 1 minute? Although we know these steps hardly takes 1 minute, but still it can take more than one. Let's say your network is slow, maybe your application response time is quite slow, or maybe your system taking too much resource in consumption, and because of that it's slow. So in that method, the sign up test method can take more than 1 minute, maybe sometimes 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So we know this method generally won't take 1 minute, so it's better to set some time limit. If that time limit exceed, the method itself stop executing. So in that case, the timeout keyword is very handy. So using timeout, we can mention, let's say, 60 seconds. So it takes in millisecond. So 1000 means 1 second and 60,000 means 60 seconds. So by putting 60,000 in front of timeout keyword, which means I am limiting this method not to go beyond 60 seconds. If it takes more than 60 seconds, please stop executing this test method and mark it failed. So that is very handy keyword. Now let's stop, right click, run as. So now we can see 7 test case executed. Let's say put some weight here, thread dot sleep, to check whether it's working or not, where we can put 61 second. So we are executing our test case where it takes 61 second, and after that it try to execute this one. But before that our max limit will reach. So this test method should abort. So now stop, now save and execute. So execution is in progress. So we set the priority. So priority 1 method executing first, and it is taking 61 second for sleep. So it's stuck because the sleeping time is started. So wait for 1 minute. So now you can see this test case is failed sign up thread timeout exception. So sign up didn't finish within timeout 60 seconds because we added sleep time 61 seconds. So it got failed because it exceeded the max limit. And here you can see 6 test case passed, only one failed where the timeout exceeded. So that is very handy keyword that we use in a scenario where some test case need to put some limitation for execution time. So now let's move to our fifth keyword is invocation count. So what invocation count does, the number of times this method should be invoked. So take an example of sign up. So let's say my manager comes to me and say we are getting some issue, uh, the n number of user logging to the sign up, then we are facing some issue. Can we regenerate this scenario using automation where we can execute a single test case 100 times or 1000 times? So I said yes, that is achievable. So using the invocation count, we can achieve this thing. So invocation count is equal to 100 or 1000. So I mentioned it 1000 here. So same test method, the sign up method will execute 1000 times, which means 1000 user parallelly fetching the sign up feature. So that is how we can generate the real time user load on the application. So now if I right click, run as TestNG, so it will execute 1000 times. So it's keep executing. Now you can see result showed 1000 times and passed 1000 times. So that is how we can generate a real-time load using a invocation count keyword. So that's it from this video. Thank you everyone for watching this. If you like this video, please click on like and subscribe this channel.